In the heart of the Zydian Empire, where celestial technology met alien grandeur, the Grand Assembly Hall of the Zydian Council stood as a monument to power. Towering arches and walls of translucent metal shimmered with ethereal lights, casting long, spectral shadows on the polished obsidian floor. At its center, an elevated platform bore witness to the unfolding drama of galactic diplomacy. Captain Elias Holt, a figure of resolute authority in the sleek, black uniform of Earth's galactic navy, strode into the chamber. His sharp eyes surveyed the alien counselors, their myriad eyes reflecting an unsettling blend of curiosity and disdain. Holt's mission was clear: deliver an ultimatum that would echo through the stars. He stepped forward, the silence of the assembly hall amplifying each measured footfall. The Zydian Council, a diverse collection of serpentine beings and crystalline entities, regarded him with a mixture of bemusement and suspicion. Holt's presence was a stark contrast to the Council's opulent surroundings, a symbol of human determination against Zydian opulence. Esteemed members of the Zydian Council, Holt's voice rang out, steady and unyielding, I stand before you today not merely as a representative of Earth's galactic navy, but as a harbinger of humanity's resolve. The Council leader, a towering entity with a shimmering, shifting form, regarded Holt with a scornful tilt of its head. And what, Captain Holt, could you possibly say that we have not heard before? The universe is vast, and your threats are but a ripple in its expanse. Holt's gaze narrowed, unperturbed. Your so-called ripples have become waves crashing against the shores of human existence. Your aggression towards our colonies, your encroachments on our space, have pushed us to the brink. Humanity's patience is at its limit. A murmur of unease rippled through the council, each member exchanging glances. The leader's eyes, like molten gold, glared at Holt. We are a powerful species. Your words, though bold, lack substance without action. Holt took a breath, his voice unwavering. Perhaps. But you underestimate the power of resolve. If your aggression continues, if you dare to cross our boundaries again, we will respond with the full might of Earth's galactic navy. We will not be cowed or deterred. The leader's form shimmered with a cold light, as if considering Holt's declaration. And what guarantee do we have that your threats are not mere bluster? A chilling silence enveloped the room. Holt's eyes remained fixed on the council leader. There are no guarantees, only promises. Promises made through actions, not words. We are prepared to act if necessary. Our fleets are mobilizing, and our resolve is unwavering. The Zydian Council leader's form shifted, signaling the end of the exchange. You have delivered your message. We shall consider it. As Holt turned to leave, the assembly hall seemed to close in around him, the weight of the galaxy pressing against the boundaries of diplomacy. The council members whispered among themselves, their voices a blend of contempt and concern. Holt's stride was purposeful as he exited the chamber, the cold air of the corridor a stark contrast to the warm, ambient glow of the assembly hall. He knew that his message was but the first step in a precarious game of galactic chess. Waiting outside, Admiral Hawk, a figure as formidable as Holt, with a demeanor tempered by strategy and experience, met him with a nod. The stage is set, Captain. Time to prepare for what comes next. Holt returned the nod, his gaze fixed on the vast expanse of space visible through the observation windows. Indeed. Let's ensure that the Zydians understand the gravity of their choices. Our next moves will define the course of this conflict. With a shared resolve, Holt and Hawk turned their attention to the task ahead. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and their actions would write the next chapter in the unfolding saga of galactic strife. The Bridge of the Valor, flagship of Earth's galactic navy, was a hive of calculated chaos. Holographic displays bathed the room in shifting hues of blue and green, casting spectral glows over the crew's faces as they monitored the silent ballet of stars and warships. Captain Elias Holt stood at the helm, his eyes fixed on the tactical map that sprawled across the central screen. Admiral Hawk, a master of strategy with a razor-sharp intellect, paced beside Holt, his every movement betraying a focus that bordered on obsession. The tension between them was palpable, a potent mixture of camaraderie and urgency. The Zydian satellites are our primary target, Hawk stated, his voice clipped and precise. We need to disable their communications and early warning systems. This will give us the edge we need. Holt nodded, his expression one of grim determination. We've already identified the location of their most critical satellites. With our new intel, we'll strike before they have a chance to react. The bridge's crew worked in synchrony, their fingers dancing over holographic interfaces as the Valor prepared for the upcoming assault. Outside, the void of space was an expansive canvas, dark and serene, a stark contrast to the storm of strategy brewing within. As the fleet moved into position, the stars seemed to blur into streaks of light, and the silence of space was broken only by the rhythmic hum of the engines. The Valor and its accompanying ships, cloaked by stealth technology, approached the Zydian satellite network undetected, commenced the assault. Holt's command cut through the tension like a blade. In an instant, the vastness of space erupted into a symphony of coordinated strikes. Missiles arced gracefully through the void, their trajectories precise, aimed at the heart of Zydian technology. The silent dance of destruction was executed with flawless efficiency. The Zydian satellites exploded into showers of debris, their fragments scattering like the remnants of a shattered dream. The once pristine network was now a chaotic constellation of wreckage, leaving the Zydian forces blind and vulnerable. Holt's eyes gleamed with satisfaction as the tactical map updated to reflect their success. Now, to capture the warp drive technology. It's our key to turning the tide. The Valor and its accompanying ships moved swiftly toward their next target, a heavily fortified Zydian research facility orbiting a distant moon. The facility's defenses were formidable, but Holt and Hawk had a plan. As the assault began, the Valor's weapons systems unleashed a barrage of precisely aimed fire, targeting critical points in the facility's armor. The Zydian defenders scrambled to mount a response. But their efforts were futile against the superior firepower of Earth's fleet. With the facility's defenses breached, the boarding teams moved in, their mission clear. Within the labyrinthine corridors of the facility, human soldiers, clad in sleek combat armor, moved with practiced precision. They encountered resistance, but their training and resolve saw them through. After intense skirmishes, the team reached the central chamber housing the coveted warp drive technology. Holt's heart raced as he saw the gleaming device, its alien design both awe-inspiring and menacing. "Secure the drive," Holt ordered, his voice echoing through the comms. "We need it operational and ready for our next move." The technology was carefully transported back to the Valor, a silent testament to their victory. As the fleet withdrew from the facility, the captured warp drive was examined and integrated into their own systems. The initial phase of their plan had succeeded beyond expectations, but the battle was far from over. The Zydian forces would retaliate, and the stakes had never been higher. Holt and Hawk knew that their next moves would be crucial in shifting the balance of power. The stars outside the bridge windows remained as indifferent as ever, their light casting long shadows over the silent, waiting fleet. Holt stood at the forefront of humanity's fight, his mind already turning to the strategic maneuvers that lay ahead. "Prepare for the next phase," he said, his voice resolute. "We've shown them our hand. Now it's time to make our move." As the fleet sailed deeper into the void, the dance of shadows continued, each move a calculated step toward an uncertain but inevitable confrontation. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and Holt's resolve was the only constant in the ever-shifting tides of war. The human colony of Newa shimmered against the inky backdrop of space, a solitary beacon of civilization amid the vast, unfeeling expanse. From the command center of the Valor, Captain Elias Holt surveyed the scene with a mix of determination and dread. The Zydian response had been swift and brutal, their fleet advancing with a ferocity that threatened to obliterate the colony. "Admiral Hawk," Holt said, his voice steady despite the chaos unfolding before him, "we're facing a full-scale assault. They're targeting Newa's primary defense systems." Admiral Hawk, who had taken his place beside Holt, peered at the swirling tactical hologram. The Zydian fleet, dark and menacing, moved like a swarm of locusts. Their ships arranged in an intricate pattern of aggression. Our previous victory has only intensified their resolve, Hawk observed, his gaze sharp. We need to deploy every asset we have. The Valor's crew was a hive of activity, preparing for a desperate defense of Newa. Outside, the dark expanse of space was streaked with the fiery trails of incoming Zydian missiles. The colony's surface, once a serene expanse of blue oceans and green continents, was now a battleground. Holt's tactical prowess was on full display as he orchestrated the defense. "Activate the planetary shields," he commanded. "Deploy interceptors and prepare the orbital cannons. We need to hold them off long enough to protect the colony's vital infrastructure." The planetary shields flickered to life, a shimmering barrier enveloping Newa like a protective cocoon. Interceptor squadrons streaked out from the colony's orbital stations, their engines flaring as they engaged the advancing Zydian forces. Orbital cannons, their massive barrels aimed skyward, unleashed a relentless barrage of fire, each shot an effort to halt the enemy's advance. Amidst the cacophony of battle, Holt remained a pillar of calm. His gaze never wavered from the tactical display, his mind calculating each move with precision. The Zydian fleet was formidable, but Holt's strategy was designed to exploit their weaknesses. As the battle raged, a Zydian command ship emerged from the chaos, its silhouette imposing against the backdrop of the colony. Holt's eyes narrowed as he recognized the opportunity. "We need to neutralize that command ship," he said. "It's coordinating their attack." The Valor surged forward, its weapons systems primed for a decisive strike. A squadron of attack ships flanked the Valor, their engines roaring as they closed in on the Zydian command ship. The ensuing confrontation was a maelstrom of fire and fury, each side vying for control of the skies. In the midst of the battle, a signal from the Valor's tactical unit indicated a breakthrough. "We've managed to breach their defenses," reported Lieutenant Commander Lee, the ship's tactical officer. "We're boarding the command ship." The boarding teams, clad in advanced combat suits, moved swiftly and silently through the breach. The interior of the Zydian command ship was a labyrinth of metallic corridors and dimly lit chambers. The team encountered fierce resistance, but their training and equipment gave them an edge. After a series of intense skirmishes, the boarding team reached the command center of the ship. Holt, leading the assault, burst into the chamber, his eyes scanning the room for the Zydian command staff. The battle was fierce, but Holt's tactical brilliance turned the tide. The Zydian forces, caught off guard, were swiftly subdued. The capture of the command ship was a significant victory. With their command structure in disarray, the Zydian fleet began to falter. The remaining Zydian ships, deprived of effective coordination, were pushed back by the coordinated efforts of the Valor and its allies. Holt watched from the command center as the Zydian forces retreated, their ships vanishing into the void. The battle for Newa had been hard fought, but the colony had been defended. The cheers from the crew echoed through the command center, a chorus of relief and triumph. "Captain Holt," Admiral Hawk said, his voice tinged with admiration, "we've successfully repelled the attack and captured valuable assets. The Zydian forces will think twice before launching another assault." Holt nodded, his gaze still fixed on the stars. "We've made our mark, but this conflict is far from over. We need to consolidate our gains and prepare for the next phase." The stars outside remained a silent witness to the unfolding drama. Holt's resolve was unwavering as he prepared for the challenges that lay ahead. The defense of Newa was a testament to human resilience, but the path to victory was still fraught with uncertainty. The Zydian home world loomed ahead, a sprawling mass of alien landscapes and industrial fortresses. The once untouchable heart of Zydian power was now under the looming shadow of human resolve. Captain Elias Holt stood at the bridge of the Valor, his gaze unwavering as the ship approached the planet's orbit. Admiral Hawk, beside him, studied the holodisplay with a mixture of grim satisfaction and tactical precision. "Our preliminary scans show the Zydian defenses are still formidable. But their command structure is in disarray following our previous victories," Hawk said. "We have the upper hand, but we must act decisively." Holt nodded, his mind racing through the final stages of their plan. "Our objective is clear. We strike hard and fast, using the warp drive technology we've captured to deliver a pinpoint assault on their most critical installations. The Valor was flanked by a formidable armada of Allied ships, their sleek forms bristling with weaponry and determination. The captured Zydian warp drive technology, now integrated into the fleet systems, promised to turn the tide of the conflict with surgical precision. As the fleet entered the planet's atmosphere, the sheer scale of the Zydian home world came into view. Great cities of glass and steel glistened under the alien sun, surrounded by sprawling complexes of war machinery and defense emplacements. The atmosphere crackled with energy, a sign of the planet's heightened alert status. "Prepare for assault," Holt commanded, his voice cutting through the bridge's tense atmosphere. Initiate Phase 1. The fleet's advanced cloaking technology activated, rendering the ships nearly invisible as they approached their target. Below, the Zydian forces were scrambling to respond to the unexpected threat. In the chaos, Holt's fleet struck with unerring precision. The first wave of attacks targeted the Zydian military command centers, key nodes of their defense network. Orbital bombardment struck with devastating effect, each explosion a testament to human engineering and determination. The Zydian response was immediate, but it was disorganized and ineffective, a direct result of the earlier disruption of their command structure. From the bridge of the Valor, Holt watched as the assault unfolded. The captured warp drive technology allowed for precise strikes, minimizing collateral damage while maximizing the impact on Zydian infrastructure. The Zydian defenses, while still potent, were overwhelmed by the sheer force and accuracy of the attack. Holt's eyes narrowed as he monitored the status of the operation. "Admiral Hawk, what's the status of the primary target?" Hawk, busy coordinating with various units, looked up. "We've successfully breached their primary defense grid. The next phase involves targeting the Warp Gate Hub." The Warp Gate Hub, a colossal structure embedded within the planet's crust, was crucial to Zydian logistics and communications. Its destruction would cripple their ability to coordinate and resupply their forces. As the fleet's ships aligned for the final assault, the tension on the bridge was palpable. "Engage the Warp Gate Hub," Holt ordered. "We need to ensure its complete destruction." The fleet's main cannons charged with a brilliant glow as they fired upon the Warp Gate Hub. The targeted strikes were precise, and the massive structure began to disintegrate under the concentrated fire. Explosions rippled through the hub, sending shockwaves across the surface of the planet. As the dust settled, the once dominant Zydian home world was left in a state of stunned silence. The destruction of the Warp Gate Hub marked a pivotal moment in the conflict, a clear demonstration of human might and strategic acumen. The remaining Zydian forces, demoralized and disoriented, began a hasty retreat. On the bridge of the Valor, a sense of triumph filled the air. Holt and Hawk exchanged a look of shared relief and determination. "We've achieved our objective," Holt said, his voice steady. "This sends a powerful message. Humanity is no longer a target but a formidable force to be reckoned with." Hawk nodded, his expression reflecting a mixture of pride and wariness. "The balance of power has shifted. But we must remain vigilant. This conflict may not be over, but we've shown that we can confront and overcome the greatest challenges." The fleet began its withdrawal, leaving the Zydian home world behind. The stars above sparkled with a renewed sense of hope and possibility. Holt stood at the bridge, his gaze fixed on the distant, glowing remnants of the Zydian home world, contemplating the path ahead. The victory was hard-earned, a testament to human resilience and ingenuity. As the fleet moved away from the battered planet, the weight of the future hung in the balance. The conflict might have reached a turning point, but the journey was far from complete.